Welcome to another tutorial here in the Halftone Pro. This time, the tutorial is about classic halftone for black fabric. Again, if you're watching this video in any language other than Brazilian Portuguese, don't worry, the features and buttons will be the same. Well, here, just like in Halftone Rosetta, we have all the LPI settings pre-configured. Here, the LPIs are automatic. How does it work? With just one click, you can run the entire automatic process right here in Photoshop. Just click on any of these buttons, except for the manual one, and it'll automatically apply a halftone to your artwork. I've already explained this LPI topic here in the Halftone Rosetta, but I'll explain it again here in the classic halftone. Classic? I'll start by applying the 25 LPI. Here, when I click the button, it opens up the field for resizing the image. If your image is under 300 dpi, it'll automatically change it to high resolution here. So here, I'll keep my image at its original size and proportion. You can adjust it as needed. Click OK, and it starts applying it right there in Photoshop. Halftone finished. I'll grab my original design again, and I'll apply the 55 LP. Again, dimension screen, click OK. And I wait for it to finish the process. It's all pretty straightforward, no secrets here. This part is really simple. It's a very functional and practical app. Here we have both halftones applied. I'll zoom in so you can see, in practice, how the LPI works. Let me zoom in a bit more here on this 25. There we go, now it's at the same scale. Alright, here, right away, just by switching the document up here, you can already see a very distinct difference in the LPI, which is the intensity of the halftone application. With a lower LPI, you have less application, less intensity of halftone in 1 inch of the design, and you get larger halftone dots. They're bigger and more spaced out. So here, let's suppose that inside this square there are 300 halftone dots. But with 55 LPI, you have more halftone dots applied, but they're smaller and more tightly grouped. So let's suppose that inside this square, you have 600 halftone dots. That's basically how LPI works. It's exactly the frequency at which the halftone is applied per inch of the design. And it will only and exclusively affect the resolution. Like I mentioned in the Halftone Rosetta, this LPI thing is really interesting when it comes to deciding which one to use. Because of your printing setup, because of the printing method you use. If you take DTF, for example, it's easier for it to reproduce a low LPI because the halftone dots are bigger, so you lose very little detail from the design. On the other hand, if you use a very high LPI, which is the LPI we recommend you only use with DTG, if you take design details, let me find a shadow detail here, where it blends into the fabric. Here, for example, if you look at these really tiny details, which are usually shadows that blend more into the fabric, you're going to lose them when doing DTF. Usually the print rip won't be able to reproduce these details with such a tiny pixel. That's why we always recommend you use the LP auto setting when you're working with DTG. For DTF, up to 30 or 35 LPI. It depends on the design. If it's not a design with a lot of shadows, it can reproduce it perfectly. Again, here, our software doesn't leave any transparent border, so you don't need to worry. You don't have to fix it later. The software itself already corrects it, and it already leaves it without any transparent border. It's a very simple and easy process. Halftone applied with just one fleck. You don't have to. No need to worry about calibrating anything. Our software is already pre-calibrated with a percentage for shadow reduction and application in the lighter areas with an intensity we think is really nice. We've already done print tests, we've already put it into practice on t-shirts, and it really gives a great result. Next step, I'll explain to you how the manual part works for classic fabrics, which is pretty much the same as the Rosetta halftone. The only difference here is the way the halftone dot is applied. Instead of being a rosette dot, it's a classic dot, an ellipse.